Welcome back, everybody. In the last video, we made our snack shop thing where we could scan and we would take the money out of the person's account. And so I figured we'd go into the database and under PHP My Admin and take a look. If you look at the transactions table, you can see that basically what we did is we have transactions, and every time we made a new one, it automatically made an ID for us, and it showed us that it was student 4, which is Kim, and it was done by user 1, which is me, and the amount were all these different amounts that we scanned, and it gives us the exact time that we made the transaction and tells us that the type is 1, which means it's a snack shop transaction. So I mean, we have a good record of what people spent their money on. And so if you come to the students table, you can see that Kim's thing went down to 50 cents. She started $1 and we made all those transactions and she went down to 50 cents. So what I thought we would do on this video is do something a little different. We're going to make this video a little longer. It's going to be a one-part video and we'll keep going until we get done. But I thought you guys have worked so hard. What if we did something that was just kind of goofy? So we have this kiosk mode, and so we basically have the ability to have a computer that can just sit there and people can scan their badges. And what if we made an argument settler? So picture this. Picture you have two kids or two students, and they come up and person 1 scans their badge and person 2 scans their badge, and the computer decides which one is right in an argument. Like, just goofy, a little bit about randomness. You know, we're going to learn a little bit about arrays, but I thought that'd be kind of a fun project. So hopefully you'll carve out a little bit of extra time for this one, and we'll just start coding. So if I snap this to the right, I'm going to go up here to my users and blank pages, and I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to do duplicate. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this back to the root folder, and we're going to type in argue.php. And so I'm super formal on my file names, as you can tell. So if I were to go to argue.php here, you know what's going to happen. Argue.php, we're redirected here, and we are going to say that the admin, manager, and kiosk can access this, and we're going to call it the argument settler. Okay. So there's a lot of different ways that we could do this with JavaScript or other languages, but what I want to do is I want to write this in PHP. And so there's some things we're going to do that may not be as pretty as we could possibly do them, but I think this is a good exercise in how to do something in PHP. So what we're going to do, we'll do a break at the top of the page, and then we will do h1 for an h1 tag, and then align equals center, and then let's do argument settler. Okay, so if I refresh the page, we have the argument settler. So now the way it's going to work, because the scanning of the badge automatically hits the submit button, I think the best way to handle this, we could disable the submit button and do all that stuff in JavaScript, but I just want to use vanilla PHP, and I'm going to kind of walk you through how to do a few more advanced, complicated things. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a form, and we can get rid of the action. And then what we're going to do is we are going to do 2 inputs. Let's do input, and then the type will be password because we don't want them to see the RFID tag. And then let's do person A. Okay, and then we'll do a submit button. Name equals submit, and the value is scan your badge. Okay, so what we'll do, let's refresh the page, see how that looks. And what am I missing here? I didn't save it. So scan your badge, it's okay. All right, so what we're going to do is let's do it this way. Let's come in here and let's center this. So we're going to do a set of paragraph tags inside the form, and then we're going to make this let's just try that, see how we like it. Oh no, got to do this. Align equals center. It's hard to do a lot of things at once. I'm looking at the recording software and all that kind of stuff. So Okay, so we can make this prettier later. That's kind of the mantra of this class. So what if we were to come up here and say, we'll do an H3, and we say person 1, scan your badge. Let's do it like that. Okay, and then we'll align that center also. Again, you're welcome to design this however you want. Person 1, scan your badge. Maybe we'll add a couple of breaks in there just to drop it down. Again, cruddy code, but it's fine. So person 1, scan your badge. So what's going to happen at this point is we have an input called person A, and all we want to do at this point is grab their badge number. So we're going to come in here and we're going to do if not empty post. And then what we want to do, the thing we care about in this particular one is if not empty post person A. So what we can do is person A, and then we're going to do input get. Okay, and now we're going to call this person A equals input get person A. So if we were to come in here and dump person A, which looks like persona, I realize that. So we're going to scan the badge and scan it. Great. Person A is that. So fantastic. So now what we want to do is we want to have the second person scan their badge. But obviously we don't want the same form to show up here. So what we're going to do is we want to know, has person A basically been set? And so what we're going to say is we're going to do person A here equals empty. And the reason why we're going to do that is because we only want this form to show up if person A has not been set yet. And so here's what we're going to do. This will make sense in a second. So we're going to say if person A equals an empty string. So if person A has not been set yet, then we're going to go ahead and show this form. So in this case, if I go to refresh this page, or if I go to hit enter here, they'll have already been set. So, well, no, they won't there. But here, let me get it on there. So now that form disappeared because person A has been set. So what we want to do is we're going to do the second form, and we're going to come in here like this. So if person A not equals this and person B equals this. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to do the same thing up here, and at the top of the page, we're going to make one called person B, and we just set that to empty. So when the page first loads, person A and person B are going to be empty. Now, when they submit this first form, person A is going to get set right here. But when they submit the second one, we need a way for person A to still be visible, because when you refresh the page, all the variables go away unless you're submitting it back as a form. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this from, actually we're going to copy this. Okay, I'm going to copy this, and the first thing we're going to do is set the second one to person B. Now person A, we're going to set this to hidden. Okay, and so we're going to put the value that's in this hidden form field as person A. So let me explain what's going to happen here. I'm going to refresh the page, and I'm guessing we're going to have nobody there. Okay, no, we'll have one. So person A has been set, so technically this should be person 2. So let's start over. Okay, so person A has been set, and now it's saying person 2 scan your badge. Now, if we were to right click this and hit inspect on the Chrome inspector, what you'll see is that person A's value is already kind of pre-populated in here in a hidden form field. So that means that when we submit this form, even though we're only submitting person B, person A is being submitted at the same time. So let's do something a little fun here, and let's add a strong tag and say, by submitting this badge, by scanning your let's do this, by scanning your badge, you hereby agree that the computer is the final say in this argument. And then we'll do a strong tag. Let's just see how that looks. Okay, so let's do a break here. The computer. Let's do it right here. Again, this is not super fancy coding that we're doing here. So I refresh the page, and then I want to do one more here. So, okay, so by scanning the badge, you agree that the computer has the final say in the argument. So maybe while we're here, we're not going to spend a lot of time making things too pretty, but maybe what we want to do at this point is let's drop this down. Oops. And let's drop that down, and that down, and that down, and that, and that. Okay. Now let's just say that we want to do font color equals. Okay. And then in here, we're going to go ahead and close that font out. So now we've made that bold red. So when we submit that form, we are telling it that, you know, hey, this is it. You got to scan person 2, scan your badge. They scan their badge, and then we're going to settle the argument. So what we want to do, this person A is still set because when they submit this, they're submitting person A and person B. And so what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to say we're going to change all 3 of these to person B, or all 4 of these to person B. So I held on Control and just click all of them and save that. So now if I refresh the page, person A is still set, and then when I set person B, I get both of them at once. So, and let me make sure that's still, let's see here. Let's look at my code here. Okay, so one thing I want to do here is on these, I want to make sure that the cursor goes straight to that box so I don't have to manually set it. So I'm going to do autofocus equals on, and I'm going to do that on both of these inputs. So when I go there to scan it, autofocus is on. So we have it recording both of these things. So now we can start doing some logic. So you'll see it's not showing either form because it knows the 2 people that are in the argument. So now it's time for us to do some logic up here. So we're going to leave us some space, and we're going to write an if statement. If person A not equals blank and person B not equals blank, then we're going to do some logic. So what we want to do at this point is we are going to get the name of person A and the name of person B. So what we're going to do is we're going to write 2 queries. So we're going to say this. We're going to say AQ. So the A query is DB query. So go to the database and select, we're just going to say star, from students, where, and then we're going to say RFID equals question mark. And then we're going to put this in an array. You've done this a bunch of times now. Person A. Okay. So now what we want to make sure is that this thing is, that everything is found. So what we're going to say is we're going to make a variable up here, and we'll make it right here. So we're going to say found equals true. All right. So what we want to do, we've made the query, but we haven't gotten any information on it. So we're going to do a count. AC equals AQ count. All right. So what we've done here is said we're going to the database, want to know whose ID this is, and then we're going to say, did we find anybody? So there is a chance that somebody scanned an RFID badge that wasn't in our system. So what we're going to say is if AC is greater than 0, then A equals AQ first. All right, so I'm going to explain this. So if it found somebody in the database, then person A is the person that you found, basically. So get the results for what you found. I hope that makes sense. So go through the database, find out if the person is in there. If they are, call them person A. Else, and then we're going to say found equals false. So we're just going to make a note of the fact that we didn't find that person. So now what we're going to do is we're going to copy this same thing, and we're going to leave ourselves a little bit of space, and we're going to change all of these A's to B's. So I'm going to come in here, A, and change that all to B. So there's no A's left in there. And so we're doing the same thing for person B. And so now, basically what we did is we said in the beginning, found is true. So we assumed that we found them. But if we didn't find them, then we've set found to false. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if found equals true, then we are going to do something, else we're going to do something else. Now we're getting pretty long into this video and we have a good bit more to do, so rather than make a 35-minute video, I am going to break this up into 2 parts, and I am sorry for the cliffhanger. I might even release them both on the same day, but I want to thank you for being patient, and we're going to continue our argument settler in the next video.